Man, do I hate to cut off an epic song like that just when it's getting good. But we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to game number 2. You're watching the G1 League, day 4 of our coverage of the group stages. Evil Geniuses butting heads with FTFC, formerly known as Sequential Gaming. And boy, did these teams have an epic series the last time they faced off in the qualifier. But I'm not sure we're seeing the same EG today. They seem a lot more focused. They absolutely crushed FTFC in game number 1. Triple Midas build. FTFC just not able to punish it. Didn't really have enough aggressive ganking heroes to shut it down. Couldn't push hard enough to sort of take advantage of EG's lack of teamfight items. So then they got multiple hexes up. Fear had absolute free farm. A couple of well-planned ganks with some cool tactics used with infesting the Batrider. Demon just finding pickoff after pickoff for his team. And here we are in game number 2. With EG leading 1-0, looking to start their first day, their premier debut in this tournament with a clean 2-0 sweep of FTFC. Will it happen? We're going to find out soon, but EG showing just how highly they value the Batrider. They took him first last game, and now they're actually going to ban him out, denying that potentially to FTFC. Not sure it's an FTFC hero, though. It's not something we've seen a whole lot of from them. What we tend to see is the Tinker from kphoenix, and I'm actually wondering if EG are baiting the trap for this, because last time they banned it. This time, they're also leaving it available, maybe hoping FTFC are going to bite, go for it, and have something really clever planned to deal with it. But FTFC, they started off standard. They started off pretty safe. They're going to start things with the Rubik, which reveals absolutely nothing. So I will very quickly show you guys the standings for anyone on the live stream. As you can see, we haven't gotten the results. We haven't had this updated with today's results, but for Group A, which is where we are for this match, SQL sitting at 0-3 currently. If they lose this match, they'll have 0 points after 2 matches, and then they still have to face IG and MUFC. Chances of them beating both of those teams pretty much nil. Might be able to take a game here or there off of them, but it's going to be tough. So that's where we are in the groups. EG, if they win this, they start off 2-0, and they're in position maybe even to challenge IG or LGD. Easier said than done, though, I have to say, especially when it comes to IG. Back to the draft where the picks continue to come out. Tinker, Tidehunter, and Rubik. This is what FTFC are more used to doing. Getting kphoenix's Tinker and just using that hero to try and stall the game out, apply the pressure. He always rushes a Blink Dagger after his Boots of Travel. Really favors the Laser Rockets build more than any other player I've seen. And then in the mid game, towards the late game, he'll go back for things like the Hex, like the Force Staff. But he always starts with the Blink. He doesn't like to go for an early Force Staff. He doesn't like to go for an early Yule Scepter. He always just rushes the Blink, and he plays very aggressively. So let's see if he gets that start. Chaos Knight is one of the best heroes in the game, along with any early game smoke ganking type jungler or support, like Chen. These are the heroes that are great at shutting down Tinker. Gank him before he gets going. Another hero that can do it. It's the Wisp. This is what I was expecting from EG. Give away kphoenix's Tinker, and then get something that counters it hard. And Wisp plus anything generally counters Tinker. Generally is going to make life a living hell for global heroes who lack escape spells, who lack the reliable mobility. Now, we could always see those epic Blink disjoints or jukes from him. It is a projectile stun that Chaos Knight has now. It's not virtually undodgeable the way that it was before 6.75, but it's still damn hard to do it. Let's see if he can, though. For anyone who's wondering, I know there will be some discussion of pains. I know there was in the lobby. Of course, it is... Well, let me let you guys have a second more to look at that. It is FTFC who have a bit better ping, but as you look at the pains, it's not really that much better. They're sitting at around 220 to 230. EG up in that 300 to 350 range for the most part. So both teams definitely dealing with delay, but of course EG knew about that. They knew this was an Asia event, and they felt it was worth competing anyway. And when you look at the prize pool, when you look at the caliber of teams available to play against, you can't blame them. You really can't. So where does FTFC go from here? How are they going to protect this Tinker? How are they going to put some pressure on the Wisp? One of the great ways we've seen from other teams to shut down Wisp is to run an offensive tri-lane. Wisp is not a strong laning hero, has some decent escape potential with really well-timed tethers to creeps, to heroes, and you can even use it with Chen creeps if he's able to send one in range. So can escape, but doesn't really offer you much when heroes are diving towers, doesn't have any reliable lockdown in the laning stage, and has 0 base armor and a low HP pool.
10 seconds
So generally
remaining.
when we've seen teams really shut down Wisp picks, for me it's come mostly
5
with
seconds
offensive tri-lanes,
remaining.
or even aggressive dual lanes that can kill early, but generally it's going to be a tri-lane.
Reserve time.
Running an offensive tri-lane gets tricky though. When you're up against a hero like Chen, if he ever gets a Wildkin, if he ever gets any sort of ganking creep, it's not a fair 3v3 fight. It's Chen, Chaos Knight, Wisp, and the Chen creeps, and all of a sudden it's 4+ heroes. So this Wisp is going to be somewhat protected. I expect to see the Chaos Knight Wisp in the safe lane, and then 2 other solos picked for the mid, for the suicide lane. And that's why we're seeing FTFC banning out that solo mid Dragon Knight, banning out that Queen of Pain. It could go either to the mid lane or to the suicide lane. There's also potential, dare I say it, for the Knight strat. They couldn't have the Dragon Knight, but there's still an Omni Knight in the pool. They could get that for Demon. He's not going to have his hands on his Batrider this game, so maybe that's what we'll see.
10 seconds remaining.
Omni Knight, it would be interesting in this game. Helps you a decent amount against Tinker. March of the Machine still goes through Repel. But, you know, I don't think we're going to see it, but a man could dream. And wow, how did Naga actually slip through? Even with the nerfs to her base damage, she's still been highly prioritized by a lot of teams, but does slip through. Not picked up, and actually would have been a hero that could give EG some fits. You can't really use the Chaos Knight Wisp against her that effectively. If she ever has a TP, she TPs into the tower and ends your gank if it's on other heroes. If you gank her and you don't burst her down, she pops to sleep and walks away. And Lincoln Sphere, which is normally the item of choice, is great against Chaos Knight, great at dealing with that Chaos Bolt and making sure you can't be stunned or reality rifted back in. So it's a smart ban by EG. It looks like right now they're banning out the difficult to kill carries, as well as the heroes that can just prevent their aggression. And FTFC, they're concerned about the solos. That's the Suicide Bounty Hunter offlane. I think that's a crucial ban. I'm honestly surprised neither of these teams are picking him in the first stage. We saw IG just picking him right away, prioritizing him as a top pick, the top ban, and he fits this metagame beautifully. He fits what EG are going to want to do this game, but they wanted to get their hands on Chen, who, you know, if you pick the Bounty Hunter, you're probably looking at a jungler, because you know he wants to solo. You generally don't want to dual lane mid Chaos Knight Wisp, so in that sense, maybe they had to get the Chen now. Shadow Demon, the next pick for FTFC. What are they setting up for with this one? He's a nice hero against Chaos Knight. They do need a support. Chaos Knight, very much a single target damage dealer, and Disruption is always going to be great against that. As well as Soul Catcher, just to sort of burst through him and bring him down more quickly. A strong turtle lineup for FTFC, and a lot of heroes that are difficult to tower dive. But I'm still wondering, are they going to go for another carry? Are they going to go for someone who scales well into the late game, who can stand in man mode with Chaos Knight? And if so, who is that hero going to be? There's a Juggernaut in the pool if they want to do something a little bit different. Blade Fury is a nice ability to have against Chaos Knight. EG going extra global, so picking up the Wisp, then picking up the Prophet. That is 3 heroes, the Wisp, the CK, the Prophet. Can be pretty much anywhere at any time. Tinker's going to have a tough time this game. We're going to have to see kphoenix at his best. I hope he drank some Red Bull. I hope he's the adrenaline is flowing, because he's going to need it to deal with all these counter gankers, all these global heroes. I would love to see something. I really think something like the Juggernaut wouldn't be a bad choice in this game. It gives you some push as well. And the one thing EG lacks is strong anti-push in that suicide lane. Prophet Trance are okay, but before the Wisp and Chaos Knight get going, whether it's running an offensive tri-lane on that side of the map or pressuring the safe lane, either way it would be effective. And Juggernaut, he scales reasonably well. He's not the hardest carry in the game. He's probably not beating a Chaos Knight late game with equal items, although it always comes down to execution. But he can do a decent job of getting them a strong start. And Wisp, they don't have any answer for that either, so it might not be a bad pick. Aside from that, there's... what else is there in the pool? This is where I really wish we had a way to see the hero list, because sometimes I'm just trying to remember what is available. There's a Spirit Breaker if you want to be manly. There's, of course, a Lone Druid. It's never something I've seen FTFC run, but it's a pretty decent hero to have, because it's just, he's so tanky. And you combo him with Tinker, you just have the March Machine sort of being the frontal assault and creating space where it's difficult to dive in. And the Sven! This is a treat. Fumoffu Sven, I'm guessing. So kphoenix Tinker, solo mid most likely. Maybe a... I'm thinking kphoenix Tinker, solo mid. Sven to go farm in that safe lane. Off lane Tide Hunter. And then the Rubik Shadow Demon supporting. Maybe Shadow Demon mid to start just to protect the Tinker against any sort of ganks. Although EG doesn't really have much of an early game killing lineup. But then definitely at least one of those supports towards that safe lane. So it is a kphoenix Tinker. It's a Fear Chaos Knight, one of his signature heroes. And a crucial component of the Half Knight strat. They're feeling that they don't want the extra cheese today. They just want a small, a thin layer spread and baked to a perfection. We'll see if it is perfection though. Demon Prophet, so we're going to see an offlane Prophet, which makes sense. It's what you expect because maelk will be the Chen player. He is their jungler. And Wisp will be going eventually to bdiz, who they finally managed to wake up. That's why we had the remake.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Carry Sven. It's something on paper. Godz and I, when we were casting yesterday, it's something that we all sort of learned together. We had never seen Sven deal with Chaos Knight before, but he can, because if you level up Warcry, it gives your entire team so much armor, 16 by the time it's maxed, that Chaos Knight tickles. He even tickles the supports. And this is unless he's really far ahead in items, but on paper, Sven also has the AoE stun, so you can stun all the illusions, not just the hero. And they tend to clump up. And of course, cleave, a nice way to kind of bring them down more quickly. Let's see how it pans out. It can work, but that was IG running the Sven, and this is FTFC. Certainly a contender, not a team that should be disrespected, but at the same time, they're not in IG's caliber. They're not in the same categories, then they have not proven themselves to that degree yet. So, Demon Prophet for the suicide lane. maelk playing the Chen, getting ready to send a creep back to Fountain just to pull the creep equilibrium back. Jeyo going to be playing the solo mid invoker, and again, favoring that exort build, and I just realized that I need to switch my overlay. There you go. Did it before the game even started. Fear going to be playing that safe lane Chaos Knight. bdiz supporting him as the Wisp. And Cuck's going to be that offlane Tide Hunter for FTFC. Solo mid kphoenix. For anyone who hasn't seen FTFC before, I'm sure most of you are more familiar with EG. This is the player to keep an eye on. This is sort of the playmaker for FTFC, and I would say the most individually talented player, possibly in all of Oceania. He is really impressive, especially on this hero. But it's a tough matchup for him, so he's going to have to be perfect. Even a Stormbolt used to prevent this first Prophet pull. This is a huge investment. They will get it, but... I mean, for Sven, look at his mana pool. That's 2/3 off the bat. maelk being a good boy and showing Monster Energy some love. Oh, so did I miss someone on EG? maelk playing the Chen. I talked about him. No, I got everyone. We're good. So middle lane, Exort Invoker against Tinker, who's going for laser early. Oh, these guys are getting paid off, man. I'll tell you, this is excessive. Since they're going at it, let's see if we can find that EG banner. Where is it? Yeah, in case you can't tell, they're sponsored by Monster Energy drinks. Now you know. So Cuck's had an invis rune. Looks like he was maybe trying to just pull the creeps. Lost track of what he was up to, but in the end, with so many wards up in the safe lane, a big investment. They really want to kill this Tide early and shut him down as completely as possible. Mid lane, having access to laser really limits what Invoker can do. You have that incredibly high damage once you start to hit level 3, 4, but you miss 3 seconds, and it's fairly spammable for Tinker, especially once the bottle comes. He is rushing that bottle, he's going to have it soon. A surprisingly difficult matchup for Invoker, I think, is what we're going to see. But at the same time, it does come down to the build. So far, kphoenix, Laser Rockets looks to be the choice. And that is his preferred build. Look at the damage he's doing to Jeyo. Really dominating this lane. 6-0, forcing tons of regen, and it's dominating this lane because he doesn't have the built-in regen that an Invoker goes for Quas Wex does. He doesn't have points in Quas yet. Already birdie a salve. Now he's only got 3 tangos to work with, no boots completed. He may need some help. We may see maelk leaving this lane. Not right away, but maybe in the next minute or two. Or maybe in the next 3 or 4 minutes at least. tduck gonna scout out a DD rune bottom, pick that one up. Vodki doing some pulling. Seems to be playing that 4 position this game. So free farm fumoffu, and Well, he's out farming Fear because it looks like Fear is spending more time under his own tower. Missing a couple creeps here and there. Not the biggest deal. Delay is a factor as well, of course. But I think mostly just comes down to fighting under his own tower and not having a Quelling Blade. Chaos Knight is generally a hero that he farms other heroes. He doesn't really farm creeps too much, so I think he's okay with that. Fear doesn't need to hit last every creep. He just needs to get the levels up. They need to get Wisp to level 6. They need to keep the tide down, and so far they're accomplishing those things. Very early, very even, pretty slow pace game. For anyone who's just tuning in, let me update you guys. This is game number 2, FTFC versus EG. And it's a best out of 2 format. You get 1 point for a tie, 3 points for a win, and 0 points for a loss. And here comes the maelk smoke gank. He's going to find the courier of kphoenix, but not quite able to get it. Sunstrike though, that'll land, so it is the early gank, setting up Jeyo for the first blood. And he was having a little bit of trouble, but this is going to make his life easier. This also brings maelk to level 4. Really getting a lot of experience from that kill. The new version helping out, and unfortunately tduck, the 2 supports for FTFC, they smoked to come mid, but they were just a little bit late. Could have easily gone the other way. If they were there, that's probably a double kill in favor of EG, but they should get some retaliation now. No points to Wexia. Jeyo will not be able to ghost walk and just Taker with a defiant laser strikes back. Unfortunately 3 heroes there, so it's split a little bit more. But at the same time, the new kill bounties, that'll make it worth it. Demon is not being shut down this game the same way it was last game. The Glaive is already approaching tower. He was level 1 at 5 or 6 minutes into the game. But he's going to start getting some experience. That's sort of the downside to leaving fumoffu alone. That's at the same time though, fumoffu already completing the tread. And now diving onto Demon. Here comes the wraparound from Bodki. This should be the death of Demon. Still only level 1. Great early kill, and fumoffu not going to get it because Bodki, the support player, snipes it. Maybe not necessary, but hey, they get the kill. Demon TP's back immediately. Only managed to summon a Treant. Rather impotent Treant. Rather impotent Nature's Call. And maelk's on the move again. Another smoke gank for him. Not leading with the creeps though. Was planning to reorder them right when he got into range of Kux. But this might be too late. Really chasing for this. They do have a Sunstrike, but just not in position. And now the tower dive onto Demon. They want to go, but they don't have creeps. I don't think this is a good idea, and they agree. They're going to back off. Level check for Fear and bdiz. 3 on the Wisp, so a bit away from that relocate. Kux only level 2, being shut down equally hard. Actually worse than Demon. In fact, here they go. There's the Wisp, starting things off. Sunstrike to follow at a 4-second stun. Jeyo steals that one, gets some experience, gets some gold for himself. kphoenix getting aggressive. One of the most aggressive Tinker players you will ever see. He's always pressuring the lanes, pushing as aggressively as can, diving past towers sometimes, even blinking all over the place. They did get the first kill on him, and Invoker has stayed pretty even in terms of farm, but there was the counter kill. He's level 6, he's going for laser rockets, not even taking a point yet in March. This might be an issue against EG's lineup, but I wonder if this is the correct build, because you're looking at a lineup that can push quite hard early. If he had a few points in March, he could maybe just rotate top, drop a wave or 2, and end the push, but without it, he's got this ganky potential, but he doesn't have the boots of travel to make it happen yet. Drum's coming soon. Very strong start for this fan, but not as strong as the one Fear is having, as he's going to secure another kill. Demon with the last hit, Demon with 1100 gold, a tier 2 to fall soon, and this is that offlane profit for you. You can kill him, you can shut him down, he's still just going to TP across the map, summon some Treants, which he's maxing first, as you normally see, and push those towers down, and there's not much FTFC can do about it. Without the Tinker marks, they really lack for anti-push. This is Anchor Smash, decent anti-push, if you're able to get in close to creeps. Fade Bolt as well. On paper they have some, but in practice, they really don't. These are they're not leveled up enough. They're not really in a position where they want to be jumping into this Chaos Knight, who also is going for drums. So everybody wants some drums this game. Sven's still the leader for net worth, and actually by a decent amount. Wonder if Jeyo has anything on the courier. Wonder if we're gonna see the Midases again. What is Jeyo building? Looks like just a magic wand for him. No, he's already got the magic wand. Just some wards. Just some wards for Jeyo to have a little bit of vision in this lane. Starting to get worried about another gank. kphoenix as well. You can tell how important it is for this team to get the boots of travel up when there are 2 supports just to protect him. And the downside to pushing this lane early, now the Tidehunter gets some levels, gets some farm that he might otherwise not have, and fumoffu's still left alone, so they are farming 3 lanes very effectively. The only thing they're not doing, which they probably want to be doing, is what we see from EG right now, just pulling and getting experience from the camps. Look at bdiz, just the orbs, just showing how effective the spirits are at mowing through those creeps. Here comes the drums for fumoffu. Would love to see a TP. He is a great counter ganker, and he's going for what I'm gonna start calling the Zo build, where you don't get any points in stats. You max Warcry, and you get involved in fights a lot earlier. It's the Zo build. We're coining it now. No one else has ever done this build. I'm kidding, of course. Demon wants his money. He's got it now. And a Midas for him. But I'm sad to say I don't think we'll be seeing multiple Midases this game. Don't see one coming out yet for Jeyo. Don't see one coming out yet for that Chaos Knight. And it's not really a great item in Chaos Knight. kphoenix, throwing out the laser. The other nice thing about this is it means Cold Snap won't affect you because the hero's going to miss. So it's a nice way to kind of deal with them in the lane. Getting real close to the Boots of Travel, and here comes the gank for Jeyo. Vodki just out of range. Oh, so close. I think they used the smoke for that, because Jeyo reacted real late otherwise. Didn't actually envision them until the last moment. But gank fails. Some more time wasted by these supports. And you can see that the experience it's still decent, but it's the supports who are suffering. tduck coming back in. Oh, he gets fogged. It is nighttime and just doesn't quite have the vision right as he attempts to cast the disruption. And this is going to draw in the response. Wisp is almost level 6. Not yet. They need that relocate before they can really get active here. He's getting close, though. Beat it. Honestly, you may even want to just throw him in a lane at this point. Let him get level 6. Your Chaos Knight, well, only level 6. Fear is under-leveled. Compare that to fumoffu, who's hitting level 8. That's the downside to the 4-man push to the top lane, is you deny yourself a little bit of experience. And Chaos Knight is a hero that needs levels. Ideally, I think you want to hit 11, and that's sort of where your peak begins. Let's see if they can push this tower. Spent, popping the God Strength, going to work on it. There's no glyph. This should be a tower down. They maybe have a counter gank in time. Is the Wisp level 6 yet? She is. She's salving up. Maybe wants to come in bottom, but just in the nick of time, they're going to kill this off. Where the hell is that Wisp? Oh, back at Fountain. Okay, never mind. Couldn't see him because of the courier. But so much for the relocate for the Chaos Knight. Gotta be next to him to do that. Cuck's Arcane Boots at almost level 6. EG is really biding their time. They're confident that when this mid game hits, they're going to catch Tinker out. They're going to catch these heroes farming by themselves. They have a decent late game lineup. They have 2 Hex carriers. They have a Chaos Knight Wisp, which means a Super Chaos Knight. But it's still a little bit bold to just let everyone get this much farm. Demon's dead. Easy kill on Demon. Shadow Demon flexing his muscles as a support. Nice pick off by tduck, and all set up by this ward. So important when you're playing. Oh, here comes the relocate onto kphoenix. They really thought they could get this kill, and they get it. Sunstrike as well. That's their 3rd global option. A triple global threat. Jeyo is getting all the kills this game. Maybe he will go back for the Midas. It's not that late. It's 11 minutes. It's sort of towards the end of when you want to get it, but it's an option. And the other nice thing about the Exhort Invoker is he also pushes harder, so we're going to see the Forge Spirit soon. He's already got the point Wex, so now just needs 2 more levels. Go back for your Quas and going for the Midas. This is some CIS style Invoker. And something that I think a lot of people are realizing is very strong. Because you want the attack speed anyway on Exhort Invoker, so it helps you in that respect. And then you get so many levels, and it makes up for the fact that he's not that mobile. He can't really farm that well, generally. He's a decent last hitter, but doesn't have the ability to just mow down creep waves around the map. So, in all respects, making the build work. Continuous aggression from FTFC, but this is where not having relocate really makes you inefficient by comparison. Fear, the dive onto him, TP's coming in, immediate reactions. And the TP was actually from kphoenix. They're gonna get Fear. No, they're not. The meteor crashes through. tduck is melting. tduck's in a lot of trouble. Wisp relocating into this. Or not relocating, just walking in rather. And that's going to be one down. Now it's on to Cox, who never got a chance to use Ravage in that fight. Forced to back off. Diving the base at 12 minutes against a global lineup. Ballsy play from FTFC, and it backfires a touch. Not a disaster by any means. EG only get the one kill. And Fumoffu still farming to his heart's content. Getting all the creeps right now with the Ogre Club picked up. A very healthy 1,000 gold ahead. And he's not gone for cleave yet. We'll probably see that at level 12 or so. The big question is, does Tinker have marked the machines yet? He does not. But he does have this level 3 heat-seeking missile, which is not bad for any pushes. It's not as good as March, but it's decent. maelk, no mechanism. The new Chen really has to go for arcane boots, but he's getting close to that mech. The buckler as well as the headdress, both on the courier. I always get nervous for an opponent when I see... whenever I see a double Midas that's not really being punished. I like how FTFC are being a little more aggressive and offensive than we saw last game. It's a similar lineup to what they ran. Aside from the Tinker, that's sort of the hero that's a lot different. This could be great for them though. EG does not have vision of this. They don't even have a ward up the hill. They're gonna walk right into a Cuck's Ravage, or maelk at least, picked off the bat. Missile to clean that up. Now Jeyo on the back foot, does have the Ghost Walk if he needs it. Might be forced to Deafening Blast, not gonna connect. And then TPing away from the high ground. Cucks could Ravage him if he knew, but he doesn't. So he'll be able to escape. Could have been a disaster, but EG did a nice job of scattering this way, TPing out here, and they only lose poor maelk in the end. But this will be pretty big if they're able to get the tower, since they've just given up a tier 1 here, they've given up 2 in this lane. Their map control is really starting to struggle, and FTFC gotta make something happen. They've got this death ball, they've got this really strong team fight. They've had the Ravage up for quite a while, but they gotta turn it into kills. They gotta convert this into some aggression that actually accomplishes something. Sunstrike is gonna hit on Vodki. This might be the death of him. He pops the wand. The Hand of God was stolen by Vodki, and he'll use it to keep himself alive. Now Jeyo just incinerated by kphoenix, doing a great job of setting up these kills. Ravage only hitting Fear, connecting on nobody else. Relocate in. I believe I just heard that from the Wisp. Yeah, Wisp is here for a moment. Fear going to work. Cuck's next to fall. kphoenix still trapped in a horrible spot. Just forced to TP out, and once you start running, you start dying because they have all the global heroes in the world. Fear gonna pick up a double. Double damage. Tower defended and straight into Roshan. That probably will be the plan. They needed a better Ravage. Only hitting the Chaos Knight and not hitting the Wisp. Not only are you stunning her, but her HP pool is so low that you're doing a ton of damage. And an aggro smash to follow on that. If Wisp dies quickly in that fight, I think it goes much differently. kphoenix probably feels safe enough to stay around a little bit longer, send out another barrage of nukes instead of showing his head and getting picked off. And well, maybe FTFC win it, but just they weren't able to find the Ravage. EG were patient. They didn't all jump it at once. Fear baited it out, and then the reaction came afterwards. Aegis of the Immortal picked up on Fear and the Vanguard, going for more of the mid-game timing push build. He wants to be that frontline tank. He's not trying to go for the Manta style. He's not even going for the BKB, just getting something that'll help them push now, that'll help them tank now. But it's not an item that scales particularly well. It's not going to help you when Sven the chance to block, you know, a small chunk of damage is not going to help you when Sven's critting or even hitting just with this God Strength for 200, or eventually 300, 400 plus damage a hit. So it's very much a mid-game item. But it fits how EG is playing so far. They're pushing and they're farming all over the map, and they're also not asking Fear to do it by himself. They have Demon, who's probably going to rush the Hex. Could also see a Necro Book this game. That's the other item that he might be going for. We've tended to see Prophets going for Hexes more lately, but in this particular game, Necro Book combining with all these other pushing abilities and all these other sort of strong pushing heroes is really going to work well. The Forward Spirits, the Prophet creeps, the Chen creeps, the double Tornado, Wildkin shenanigans, and the Sunstrike dies to the Tornado though! I saw the double Tornado, I didn't see the result until the end, but yikes. I mean, that's really all there is to say about that. That's a yikes. And that was a Prophet ult as well, helping to bring him low. Fumoffu killing off the illusion, and god damn it, as soon as he's killing off the illusion, there's a relocate bottom. Taker's gonna drop to that. Next in line, maybe tduck. No, Reality Rift does not cancel CP. For anyone who didn't know, you just got confirmation. He'll escape. But this is looking, it's starting to look a little bleak for FTFC. The pickoffs are just coming a little bit too easily right now for EG. And Fear in the front lines just setting up these kills for his teams. The stun to set up the Sunstrike, Demon to do a little bit of damage, and that's another kill. Demon gonna remove that tower aggro, and last hitting the tower up to 3,600 gold. It's really close to a Necro 3 if he wants it. Sent back to base for the moment, and now immediately gonna TP back. This is annoying. This is super annoying, and straight onto Fumoffu he goes, who's so close to his BKB. But the cold snap, look at the armor from Warcry. 17, oh, just wore off. 17 armor. Oh, wait. Why did it only say plus 11 instead of plus 16? Huh, maybe that's a bug. Either way, that should be 22 armor, which is more than enough even with the 4 spirits to keep him alive. Just missing all the kills. Sorry about that, guys. But bdiz goes down to a solo kill from Fumoffu. That's a big kill because it means that not only is bdiz going to be a little bit behind as a result, but more importantly that you don't have to worry about that Wisp relocate gank coming soon, and she had her ult back up. She was ready to go, so this gives kphoenix a moment to farm, and he's getting close to the blink. With the blink dagger, if you blink away into the right spots at the right time, the Wisp relocates can be neutered. They can be rendered very ineffective. Will it be the case? We'll have to wait and see. maelk with some aggressive play. And this is going to mean the death of his creeps. A little gold, a little experience to some very poor supports.
Dire's middle tower is under
EG
attack.
sitting on a massive lead at this point. It feels similar to the last game. A lot of eggs in the Fumoffu basket. kphoenix just not having that powerful start you're hoping for. What is Demon going to go for? Up to 4,500 gold. Even a Desolator is not a bad choice, just for the minus armor, just to help deal with that Warcry. And also, it's a great pushing item because it reduces the armor on buildings. Now the kphoenix dagger comes out. This might make the hero kills a bit harder. We'll have to see how good his reaction is going to be. They want to go on Demon, but unfortunately, Demon's out of there. No, he's not. He's lurking. He wants to go back in. He fakes the TP. Now the relocate comes. This is a bad spot for Shadow Demon, and instantly brought down. Now maelk with a massive test of fate. That was like 500 damage, and the pure damage not enough. He gets out just in time, right as the Sunstrike's about to connect. Now the relocate, bringing them back. A short hop, skip, and a jump towards the middle lane. And the Spirit stolen by Vodki. He really needs that Chaos Bolt. That is what EG desperately needs right now. kphoenix got a blink. Oh, he dodges that Reality Rift through the fog. But it's Fumoffu who will pay instead. Had the BKB, chain stuns, never able to use it. Ravage is still here, just not choosing to pop it yet. Now the Ravage to fly, everyone dropping low, but nobody dying, and this is a problem. Fear not being dealt with, still has the Aegis, still sitting on 3,600 gold, and Demon going for the pub style build. Shadowblade pickup by him. Very aggressive ganking item, good for split pushing. They needed the spend with the BKB there. If he pops that BKB and then the Ravage comes, the Stormbolt to land on top of that, and you're cleaving with God's Strength, that could have been 3 or 4 EG heroes dead. Now they had the Aegis, so Fear's not going to die, at least not twice, but the rest of the supports really could have suffered, just not able to get it off. It was too much chain stun from the Tether, from the Chaos Bolt, and poor Fumoffu. Just not his day, it seems. Not so far, anyway. Send him a get well card. What did Rubik steal? Did he finally get the Chaos Bolt? Ah, the Reality Rift, poor guy. They really need something bigger than this. Getting the Reality Rift, getting the Spirits, these are not game-changing spells. Chaos Bolt is a game-changing spell. That spammable, average 3-second stun. Something to be feared. Relocates up. Let's see how quick our Fear and bdiz is going to look towards the top lane. Will they find kphoenix? No, they won't. Fear with a pack of illusions. Reality Rift can be used to pull these back in. Do they actually go? I wonder how far they go. I don't even know, to be precise. bdiz gonna be assassinated instantly by fumoffu. That's a good start to this fight. Fear being driven back. The Aegis of the Immortals just worn off. Can fumoffu bring him down? This time, what does Vodki steal? He steals Holy Persuasion, so can start to create that army of his own. While this was happening, the Shadow Demon got picked off near the river. So it's a 1-for-1, but they do kill the Wisp. And Demon looking for the backstab. Demon just so cheekily aggressive. And last game was Batrider. It's a hero where that's what you're supposed to do. This you're not supposed to do. This is not in the playbook of Prophet. That doesn't stop him from doing it. And it's going to work, too. He's going to find Vodki in a second, I think. Yep. Vodki using that Holy Persuasion to jungle, but thrown back in the air. And Demon, will he chase this? Will he commit to this? This might be his death. Do they have sentries? They do. But just not able to quite pick him off. A Demon wastes a lot of time. That's what FTFC need to do, though. That's how they're going to win these fights, is as we discussed earlier, just getting that Sven immediately onto the Wisp, popping the BKB, and bringing him down. If he's able to burst down the Wisp, the fighting power of EG is dramatically reduced. God, jeez. Global strategy. Demon in the base! It was a Sunstrike and a Prophet! Ultimate to bring down. Oh my goodness. Oh, these guys are just all over the place, making me work real hard here. Now pressuring the mid tower, and in comes the relocate. Fear here, but look at fumoffu again. The Wisp just disintegrated. Doesn't matter though. It does. Fear is gonna drop. That's the power of just bursting this Wisp down. Demon forced to run away from this one. Cox did use the Ravage there. Will Demon commit to this? Will he go in? This could be a big mistake for fumoffu. Are we going to see a Sunstrike? Are we going to see it? It's not available. Oh. I am liking this Fen play, though. This is really working to deal with that Wisp CK. Because Wisp wants to come in close. That's how the CK Wisp combo works. You just jump a hero. You get right on top of them with the Tether Stun. Then Sven hits a 2-hero Stormbolt, and he just chops your head off in 2 auto attacks. Demon again going for the backstep. Sprout to set up the Sunstrike. Not coming for Vodki though. Miscommunication. And this could cost Demon his life. Demon in a lot of trouble. 1 second left. Not in time to Shadow Blade away. Demon pays. And FTFC rejoices. They needed that kill. They're still way behind in this game. For anyone who thinks that they're out of the woods or that things are going well, it's not. kphoenix getting close to a Scythe device. This could be a game changer. They desperately need lockdown. The weakness that Sven has as a carry is his lack of mobility. That's why when IG ran him, they were running him with a bounty hunter. They were running him with multiple heroes who just were great chasing heroes, could lock them down, like the Night Stalker with the slow. That's where Sven became absolutely devastating, was in that game, with that composition. This game, he doesn't have as much synergy with his team. So it's really going to come down to kphoenix getting a Hex up, getting that lockdown. And if he's able to do it, then fumoffu can charge in first. kphoenix can do his thing in the back lines. fumoffu gonna get the tower. Blink Dagger was the choice for him. And he's playing madly. He's not afraid of this gank. He's not afraid of the Wisp CK, which is available right now. Reaver was picked up by Fear. Getting fairly close to a heart. And that's gonna make these illusions extremely painful and difficult to bring down. It's probably the best item you can get, aside from Armlet, which is a little bit more cost effective. Or at least it's a lot easier to build up, and it's extremely cost effective is what I should say. But the heart, once he completes it, will do more for him. bdiz now hits level 11. Relocate scales very well with levels, so at level 1 it's got a 90-second cooldown. That's a full minute and a half, but by the time you get to level 16, it's got a 1-minute cooldown. It becomes a Naga ultimate in the sense that you can use it multiple times in a team fight, or if you buy back, you can use it again. Look at kphoenix, immediately shift queuing that Blink Dagger, dropping the March and shift queuing the Blink Dagger. So it's all queued up, it all happens in a moment. That makes this not quite as fearsome. If you just had a Force Staff, it wouldn't work as well. tduck summoning some illusions from himself, creating those just to scout things out. Maybe gonna de-ward with these. Could have de-warded with them. If you had just sent them onto that ward right away. Do they have vision, actually? What do they do? A little bit odd. So they're looking, of course, for FTFC, they're looking for the Scythe device, but aside from that, they're looking for the Daedalus and fumoffu. I honestly thought an Armlet might be the choice, just an easier build-up for that, and gives you tons of damage, especially it gives you a lot of strength, and that means the God Strength. God Strength, the plus damage you get is based off of your base stat, which is Strength for this hero. It's not based off of his raw damage, so getting plus damage items doesn't really help Sven too much. Nice smoke by FTFC, at least not spotted by anything. Let's see what they can do. Do they have a gem for Demon? They do now. Modkey's picked one up. They're gonna wrap around right as EG enters the Roshan pit. Who's gonna get the jump this fight? It won't be a Wisp relocate to start things off at least. And FTFC seem to know exactly what EG's up to, but Roshan's starting to drop. They gotta go soon. The smoke is revealed. maelk's trapped in the trees. fumoffu in the front line. Spots out bdiz. bdiz can tether into the pit. After the stun wears off, he's gonna go down. He doesn't get it off. maelk in a lot of trouble. Fear in the front line, but not actually locking anyone down. The Ravage is still here. Can Fear find the kills? Fear's caught out. Fear's gonna go down, and this might be an Aegis going to FTFC. EG almost falling apart here. Do they have the buybacks? He just bought the heart. Oh no, that is bad news for EG. Even if they don't lose the roast, they're certainly gonna lose a tower for this or take a lot of damage. And you can already see Demon frantically looking to maybe catch stragglers or just find something to draw them back to prevent this Roshan. Also was running for his life, let's be honest about that. maelk gets caught, the Blink Dagger from fumoffu setting this up. There's the Gush, Soul Catcher not gonna hit, but here comes kphoenix and that's the kill. FTFC get another. Turning this game around, really playing well, and look at how far behind they are. They're massively behind to a global team, to a team that has that next level of items, that has a Chaos Knight with the heart. The lack of a BKB, though, costing him there, as well as the Wisp just getting assassinated. That's what's winning the fights for FTFC, is they're killing the Wisp before she can tether, so Chaos Knight doesn't get that move speed, he doesn't get that damage reduction, he doesn't get that attack speed either. His overcharge is now level 2. And that 10% damage reduction really does add up. One concern for FTFC though is fumoffu's BKB. It is declining. The charges are going down. It's not lasting as long. And Chaos Knight's stun remains equally scary at all points in the game. Is he close to another item? Doesn't look like it yet. How close is kphoenix to the Blink Dagger? Oh, this is big. If he's able to get this up, if he gets this Hex up at the right moment, then it almost goes the other way, where the Prophet and the Wisp that were hunting him earlier, they're the ones who have to be careful too. Roshan has not been claimed by either team, and he's healed up quite a bit during this time. Now there is no Ravage, so this fight, although it's cooling down in 30 seconds, I don't think it'll be in time. And they're also not in position, but again, the smoke, they've saved these smokes wisely, they're using them wisely. Will they get there in time though? And if they do, will they have the burst? I don't think this fight's gonna go as well. kphoenix can TP into this. He can get him pretty close. Roshan's gonna drop. It's gonna be picked up immediately by Fear. Cucks on the high ground. fumoffu with a beautiful 2-hero Stormbolt. 1 chop, 2 chops, 3 chops, and everybody's falling down to this outrageous spin. The BKB wears off. Look at him go! Man mode, Sven says, I am man. And he's gonna look for more kills. Fear in some trouble, sent back by maelk. Nice play to keep maelk alive. Now maelk, the last man standing. Aegis was not used though, so after a very bad fight, oh my goodness, look how hard this Sven is hitting. I think Chaos Knight just met his match. We saw it with IG, although IG just played so well that I think any carry could have won them that game. But this Sven just hitting multiplayers with Stormbolt, EG getting clustered up, and then fumoffu having the armor for the team that comes out from the Warcry, and then just the AoE damage he does. It's working beautifully. There's a distinct lack of Omni Knight in this game, and that may be the other problem for EG. They're gonna go high ground, they still have the Ravage now. And the question is, can EG stop this? Can they fight this? This might not help if fumoffu catches out Fear, but the tether stun, no mana for Ravage. This was a mistake, or maybe not, because they're bringing Fear down. He's not dead yet though. fumoffu, don't do it. Don't dive the base. Demon whiffs the Sprout. A little bit unfortunate. Probably would have been the death of fumoffu. Now they're gonna back off. No, the net, the disruption, setting up the EG Sunstrike, no saving him. Now fumoffu blinking away from this. Demon tethered up with bdiz, not the ideal tether combo, but might be just enough to bring him down. The Warcry, fumoffu running for all he's worth, but it's not enough. In the end, fumoffu will fall. Oh, a hell of a ride for him, though. FTFC, if they had the Ravage there, that might have been Rax. Just short on the mana for Cucks. And now he's got a Blink Dagger. The graph really starting to dip back towards SQL, really going in their favor. And it also, the other issue for EG is that Demon didn't go for a Hex, and he didn't go for something that has more of a high impact in these fights like a Necro 3, and look at kphoenix going to work on him, the Chain Hex! This could be the death of Demon, it will be! Now kphoenix is getting rolling. Oh, that's a concern. When Tinker can just show up and instantly assassinate you from full HP, and you're a Prophet who's got a pretty respectable net worth, sitting at almost 14,000. That's a concern. But not having a Hex on the Prophet, Jeyo, I'm not quite able to finish his yet, because he went for a Blink Dagger, going for these items that are more aggressive, but not as helpful in team fights. Costing EG right now, as well as just great individual play, decision making from FTFC. And that damnable Roshan pit, never a fun place to be fighting against a Tidehunter. Or a Tinker, for that matter. Now kphoenix is really being active around the map. This is how he plays his Tinker. I mean, we see all Tinker players do it. I think the difference with kphoenix, and what makes him unique, is that he goes for this Blink instead of a Force Staff, and then he's constantly going for kills. He doesn't just push, but which is what we normally see from Tinker players. It's kind of more of a turtling style, a split pushing style, but he's much more aggressive at hero killing. We haven't seen too much of it yet, but we saw the seeds of it with that Demon kill. So let's see if he continues to apply that kind of aggression towards heroes, or if he's just going to play it a little bit safer. They're going to catch maelk. This could be a big kill. Fumoffu blinks in, drops the stun, uses the BKB and God Strength, and in 2 hits, maelk is dead. And everyone dropping low. That Fear going to catch out kphoenix. This could be bad. There is a Ravage, though, and Fear's taking tons of damage. Fumoffu's got him trapped, and Fear will fall again. This time, though, he's got the Aegis. They held onto the Ravage. Now they can bring him down again. Fear's in a ton of trouble. They want to catch the Wisp with this Ravage. Ravage not being used yet. Ravage to fly catches everyone. Fumoffu just tearing through EG. EG getting absolutely mauled and slaughtered here. Driving them back to the base. Look how low they are. Can they live? Fumoffu says no. Triple kill for him. And now FTFC on the verge of a very impressive comeback. Team wipe for them, aside from the Invoker, who barely escapes with his life, has managed to fire up the Scythe of Ice. Can they turn it into a Rex? That is the question. Can they turn it into towers? Can they turn it into more than these kills? They have about 20 seconds before everyone comes back, and now they don't have Ravage to work with. They need that to win the team fights. They also need Fumoffu's BKB, which is back up. It's ready to go. And he's gone back for a Hyperstone, not opting to complete the Daedalus. Sunstrike, gonna hit on Vodkey. That drops him real low. And he's got to be careful. Here comes the Warcry. Everyone going to work on the tower. There is no glyph. This is going to drop very quickly. God's Strength is cooling down. Fumoffu, oh no, he pops the BKB before the fight begins. But at the same time, they're going to be able to bring the Rax down before anyone respawns. Or at least before the full team does. But remember, there's a relocate. They got to retreat as a pack. If they get caught out of position one by one, they could get picked off. And it looks like EG not going to go for a relocate. EG just... I feel it's mostly the item selection in these fights. It's the lack of a BKB on the Chaos Knight, the lack of a Hex on Demon, the lack of a Hex or a Scythe of Ice on Jeyo. If they had these items, I really think these fights would have been much easier for them. Fumoffu's been holding on to his BKB. He hasn't popped it at the beginning of every fight. He's kind of waiting until he gets low or until he fears he's in danger, and then he uses it. But if you have Scythe of Ice, you can't wait. Sven has to pop his BKB right away, and a Sunstrike. Not gonna hit on Vodkey. If that hits, there might have been a Prophet ult. No Prophet ult, but just some harassment, really. And out of nowhere, kphoenix is almost up to a Shiva's Guard. These two heroes, the Sven and the Tinker, really starting to outclass the farm of the Chaos Knight. And, well, it's a weakness that everyone knows the Chaos Knight has. He's not a great farmer. He's a great hero killer. He's a great initiator. That's his specialty. His Sven... surprisingly decent at farming because of the cleave. The longer the game goes, the better he gets at farming. And Tinker the same. Great at spreading out the map. Great at clearing out the creep waves. Completes the Shivas. Not gonna opt to save. No buybacks. Let's check who has it actually, because that... well, alright. We're playing some greedy Dota today, guys. This is Scrooge McDuck Dota. Nobody gonna save for buyback. I love it. Even though both teams are very much in a position where if they lose a fight, they could lose Rex. Wisp and Chaos Knight. Fear still not level 16. That'll help him a little bit if he gets that 4th illusion. Or that 3rd illusion. For a total of four horses. But I'm not sure it's going to break the game open. I think it's really the BKB that he needs. Demon has completed Sight Device, so they hold on to the racks after what was a great fight for FTFC. They get the Sight Device up. Now they have 2. FTFC again with the smokes. Are EG going to fall for this again? Roshan's respawning in a couple minutes. Ward's getting dropped down. FTFC starting to think about angling towards mid. They have very good vision of EG's movements in their own jungle. And they're going to get caught. Demon! Oh, he actually dodges the Stormbolt with the Shadow Blade. This could be a bad fight for FTFC. Wisp relocates in, but it's going to be drawn back in a second. And now the March of the Machines to prevent EG from committing to this. I actually don't know where he's going back, but we're going to find out in a second. Back to bottom. That could have been really bad if they had jumped in, because Wisp would have left that fight at the crucial moment. And if she didn't detether, would have brought Chaos Knight back with her away from the fight. So 1 Rex down right now for FTFC, but by no means is this a big deal. 1 Rex doesn't win you a game. It's a global lineup. It's a lineup with a profit. You need at least 2 lanes of Rex. You probably need to expose the 3rd as well to feel confident about your chances. But there is something to be said for having momentum in the world of Dota, and FTFC are riding a massive wave. Hell, look at it. They've been coming back for, what is it, 20 minutes at this point? 20 minutes they've been climbing their way back into this game. I wonder what EG's plan is. It seems like they just want to farm. They already have the Slice of Vice up. The BKB is the big item for Fear to get. But where do they go after that? Prophet could maybe get a damage item. Chen could, I mean, he's already got a mech and a pipe. Here they go top lane. They want to get kphoenix. Not gonna find him. Such an elusive little bugger. kphoenix died once or twice early, but he really has not gotten picked off at all by the Wisp relocates. A lesser Tinker player would have died 5, 6, 7 times, and this game would have been over, but kphoenix is just very good at using that Blink Dagger, queuing up his commands. He never miscasts a spell, really, and so he gets in and out of the lanes as quickly as possible. And that's, you have to be perfect when you're up against Wisp. You can't afford to make mistakes.
With me.
For anyone just tuning in, as I see the viewer count is starting to climb a little bit as people wake up, start to get their day started with some Dota. This is game 2, and we're well underway with it. Game 1 was just an absolute demolition derby by EG, and game 1 was a demolition derby by EG. And game 2, it started off with EG just having so much momentum, but they've given away quite a lead, and now they're trying to find a way to get back into this game to sort of prevent FTFC from seizing too much control. Assault Cuirass complete on Fumoffu. 2,600 gold up for him. This is a big item to pick up. This level of armor against Chaos Knight, when you're giving your team, what is it, 5 armor to the team from the Assault Cuirass, he's giving his entire team 21 armor, plus his personal armor is at 24 plus 16. He's going to have 40 armor before minus armor comes into play, which you get a little bit from the Force Spirits. What the hell is going on with this? Why does it keep on not being plus 16? Maybe this ability is bugged. Whenever he uses Warcry, it's not showing me plus 16, like I would expect it to. Ah, well, that's neither here nor there. Maybe it's the Force Spirits that are bringing the armor down.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And so, the push commences top. FTFC, they want to go for the second lane of Rax. Roshan is going to respawn, but can EG really afford to risk it? If FTFC lose this fight, they're giving away Roshan to EG, and they're also going to allow EG to push out the lanes, because middle lane's pushing, bottom lane's pushing. This is I don't want to call it a gamble, but this is aggressive from them. Sight Device on the Fumoffu to start this fight off. Remember, they have another Hex. Are they going to use it just yet? Stormbolt flies out onto Jeyo. Where's that Ravage? They need a Ravage. Chaos Knight, has he joined the fight yet? In the back lines, he's there with Wisp. They're waiting for the Ravage. Oh no, the disruption prevents Fear from taking the Ravage. Will it matter? It does not. Oh, it's the Soul Catcher plus Fumofu's auto attack power to bring him down. Buyback from the Chaos Knight. Fear, no Phantasm, not really the same hero with just 1, but maybe it's enough. Fumoffu getting Cold Snap, getting Chain Stun. Again, the defensive disruptions by tduck. Beautiful play from him. But the ice wall, he's getting kited. This is the weakness of Sven. But too tanky. He lives. He survives. Fumoffu cannot be killed. You can't keep this Viking down. God damn it, Sven. You are too tanky. You are too strong. And I think with that, FTFC may just be able to claim this lane of Rags.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Every
attack.
time these teams play, we get at least one insane game. Not quite as ridiculous as the last series, I gotta say, but still pretty impressive stuff. And on to Demon they go. kphoenix with the instant hex, followed up with the sight device. Demon will drop, diving forward into the base. He wants jeyo too. Laser to follow. Shiva's not gonna hit because he walks away.
Dire's top tower
The ult's back up. The God Strength is ready to go, so he's gonna be able to take out. I think he gets this lane of Rax. Cast Knight already bought back. He already died again. Needs to pop that BKB though. Needs to pop the BKB. He will do so. And now it's going to be 2 lanes of Rax for FTFC in firm control of this game. A Sunstrike narrowly missing from Fumoffu. Lucky to escape with his life. God damn, Carry Sven is working out fantastically every time we see him played, at least in the G1 League. This pick, really impressive. And I think Fumoffu is showing some of his haters and some of his fans out there that when he, at least from time to time, he can put together a strong performance. I don't think anyone can argue that he hasn't played exceptionally well this game. 10, 3, and 14. He is, of course, the captain for this team, making all their in-game decisions, and the smoke ganks really set them up for victory if they're going to go on to one. That's what did it. They haven't quite won yet, but until Fear gets this BKB, I don't know how he does anything in these fights. And with that buyback, he's just so far away from securing it. It's also gotten to the point where Wisp dies in 2 auto attacks from Sven. That's the other problem, is poor bdiz. I mean, he doesn't have a Ghost Scepter, he doesn't have a Force Staff. He doesn't really have anything to help him survive in these fights. And when you run a Wisp +1 combo, the Wisp is the one that if you don't kill her, she makes that hero so strong. If she gets tanky, then she's not an easy kill, but without those items, pretty much food for the slaughter. Now, of course, when it comes to these two teams, the game is never over until the throne dies. We've definitely seen that before as well, so lest we get ahead of ourselves, it should be mentioned that FTFC is not out of the woods yet, but they have the Daedalus on Fumoffu now. They're going to get a DD rune on Fumoffu. This might just be time to 5-man mid, get the ranged Rex, and then circle around bottom, or just rotate bottom to start off with. You gotta figure Fumo wants to go in right now with this DD rune, having the ult available. Doing some D-warding near Roshan. Oh, he's just gonna Rosh. That works as well. Critting for 1100 without God Strength. I wonder how much he crits for with it. Maybe 1800. Probably not quite into the 2000 mark. Sprouts gives him some vision. Start this fight off a little bit. Fumo taking some big damage. This is not a good position for them necessarily, and they're forced back. They don't really have control of this hill. They don't have too much vision over here. And wisely, they're gonna back off. God, it would be nice for them to have a mechanism or an urn, but the mech's on cooldown. Demon's gonna scout things out. There's a gem though. This is not really gonna work the way he hopes. At least not if he approaches too close. And the elaborate delicate dance begins. Relocate, unfortunately in these situations, doesn't do much for you unless you're catching retreating enemies. But it's Wisp generally not the strongest team fight support. You know, compared to something like a twin-headed dragon, it's much more about getting the pickoffs and then snowballing the fight from there. Fumo wants to go for a bit of a wraparound, or maybe just push in this middle lane and then go back into the pit. I believe that's what we're seeing from them right now. And this is time for Fear. They're gonna go for their Aegis right now. This is big time if EG are able to claim, but Fumo is here. Fumo drops the Stormbolt onto, absolutely slaughtering Demon and Fear. Aegis and Cheese on the ground. Picks up the Aegis. Demon to fall first. kphoenix doing work. Jeyo gonna drop next. Blinking forward. Lasering one. Now the Shivas to follow. Gonna hex another. kphoenix just locking down 3 heroes while Fumo deals with the other 2. Cuck set it all up, and that's the GG. It goes the other way. These two teams, they never give us a clean, easy to cast, one-sided game. It's always back and forth, at least, not game, but series, I mean to say. And kphoenix really wants some hard kills. He's going to blink towards the fountain here. He's going to catch Chaos Knight as well as Fear disconnects. Diving the fountain. Vodki showing some love to the drunk Russians. And I could say one thing for sure about FTFC. They like to run their mouths a little bit, win or lose. These guys, showing some spunk, showing some personality to say the least. So it's a 1-1 tie. EG not with the best start, certainly not what they were hoping for, but they do get that first game. They will get a point out of this. For FTFC, they really needed to come out of this with a win, but at least getting a tie keeps the dream alive for them, keeps them in a reasonable point of contention where they have a shot at coming out of this group. And time for the fountain cap. Here comes fumoffu, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Fumoffu's Rose fan club, they take this game. An incredible comeback, to say the least. Fumoffu and his squad. I gotta say, kphoenix Tinker, one of the most impressive Tinkers I've cast. I wouldn't quite, you know, I don't think it's fair to put him up there with someone like Dendi or Dai, necessarily back when he used to play solo, but kphoenix is damn good at that Tinker, and that's part of why EG respect banned it in the game 1. I think not banning that here ended up costing him in the end, but mostly FTFC, just better decision making, so this series goes 1-1. They take a game off of EG, and, you know, EG, this is only their first match. As far as our standings go, we'll have another look at them. Again, these have not been updated with today's results, and ignore the numbers on the side because, well, along with messing up my other overlays, I messed this one up and I forgot to update those as far as the rankings go. But SQL now sitting at 1-3 with 1 point, EG at 1-1 with 1 point. And LGD and IG leading this group so far. For SQL, they still have to play IG, they still have to play MUFC. Probably going to lose 2-0 to IG. Beating them is going to be real difficult, but they have a shot versus MUFC. So if they can beat MUFC, if they can take a 2-0 versus them, they have a decent shot at advancing out of the group. They've already played LGD, that's where their 0-2 came. And we'll have to see. EG, they still have a long road ahead. They've got to play IG, they've got to play LGD, and they've got to play MUFC. They played what I think a lot of people would have considered coming into this event the weakest team in the group first, so the hard teams are ahead for them. But I say hard teams, and all these players are professionals. I think they're all these teams are capable of taking games off each other. As much of a juggernaut as IG is, they have lost games before. I know it doesn't seem like it, but they have. Alright guys, that wraps it up for